Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun video for today, and I hope everybody's having a really happy Thanksgiving. I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, we picked the book back up. So for today, we're going to be reading and reviewing Amazing Spider-Man number 14 that just came out with that super awesome cover of Ben Reilly as Chasm. All right, now before we get dived into that, I do want to let you guys know about the 600 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's a Marvel #1 variant. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel. And when we hit 600 subscribers, we'll raffle the book off, and somebody that posted a comment on the road to 600 will win the book, and probably some other books. I usually throw in other books too. Alright, guys, let's go ahead and get started with Amazing Spider Man 14. Now, remember, we're going to be going heavy into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled for the new Amazing Spider Man issue, that's your warning. Next up, we have to shout out the creative team because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic book, right, guys? So for this issue, we have Zeb Wells is doing the writing for the whole issue, but there's actually several different teams throughout the seasons. So the spring team is Michael Dowling as the artist and Richard Isanove as doing colors. For the summer, Kyle Hotz is doing the art with Dan Brown on colors. For the fall season, we have Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson doing colors and inks respectively. And for the winter, we have Ryan Stegman doing pencils, Tim Townsend with JP Meyer doing inks, and Matt Hollingsworth doing colors, with everything lettered by VC's Joe Caramagna. All right, guys, let's start with the forward because it's actually kind of changed a bunch, and you'll see. So it reads Peter Parker has the proportional speed, strength, and agility of a spider, adhesive fingertips and toes, and the unique precognitive awareness of danger called spider sense. After the tragic death of his Uncle Ben, Peter understood that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. He became the crime fighting superhero called the Amazing Spider Man. After years of pain, for a few glorious months, Ben Reilly was Spider Man. The Beyond Corporation made it possible, but then they began to erase Ben's memories in an attempt to control him. When he began to lose his sense of self as a result, Ben lashed out, and Beyond pushed the blame onto Peter Parker for not giving Ben access to their shared memories. Ben's mind was warped even further when he was submerged in psychoactive goo that erased entire floors of Beyond Corporation's headquarters and nearly killed Ben. Now he's assumed the identity of Chasm and is desperate to reclaim what he's lost. Madeline Pryor was recently deemed worthy of the gift of resurrection that Krakoa promises to all mutants, but after having her personhood debated and denied for so long by a council that included the origin of her genetic material, Jean Grey, the mutant paradise seemed like anything but that to the Goblin Queen. Maddie was granted dominion over the realm of Limbo as a second chance, and she intends to forgive and forget. And as we start, we see Ben is with Janine, his girlfriend that they built up throughout the run, the Beyond Corporation run with Ben, um, and she's actually kind of feeling like maybe she's had enough of Ben and he might be losing his mind, right? She's not sure. So she goes ahead and heads to Grand Central Station by herself. She's having some lunch, and the chef comes by and sits down and kind of strikes up a conversation with her. And he says, anything you want to share? Sorry, this is my place. I'm literally invested in you getting your appetite back. She says, so you're one of the nice guys, huh? He says, I like to think so. Let's start with an easy one. You coming or going? She says, going. I just bought a ticket. He says, "Aware? Where to?" She says, "Away from here, away from him." He says, "I see. So it's over?" She says, "No, not like that. I love him. And if I look back over my life and picked out all the bright spots, he was there for most of them, maybe all of them. Just recently, he saved me from a bad place, showed me a life I never thought possible." He says, "Then why are you leaving?" She says, "Because it's going bad again. It always goes bad. And when my life was all bad, I could take it, go numb. But he opens up something in me. I started believing life is good, and I don't want to be wrong again." So, at that point in time, someone comes up and kind of reveals to her that the police have been called, and she realizes, "Oh, you've recognized me." And he says, "Janine Godby broke out of prison a few months back." She says, "That's what they told everyone." "Yeah. You ever been to prison, Jerry?" He says, "Can't say I have. But you see, I never killed anyone before, least of all my own." She says, "I have." And she performs a quick escape from the diner and heads back home to Ben, where Ben's kind of napping, and she basically tells him, kind of skip a little bit of it, but the important beat is she says, "I don't care. Where you go, I'll follow. If something's calling you, we'll answer it together. If we have to burn the whole world down to make you whole, we burn it down. I love you, Ben." As we see Ben Riley pull on the chasm hood, and they hold an embrace. All right. And we're going next. It's we see Ben again, and he's basically being told that he's Peter Parker. This guy recognizes him, and he's like, that's it's not me. I'm not Peter Parker. They keep telling him they want money. Peter Parker owes them money, and he ends up just kind of walking away from that. And then we see back at the wherever his hideout is, Chasm's hideout, that he's hanging out with Janine at. He's been trying to fix this technology, right? Which is what he was talking about in the beginning that made her decide, "Oh, I'm done with this for a minute." She's helping him try to fix it. They get it running, and what it does is it actually teleports them to see none other than Madeline Pryor, to the underworld or something like that. They're in limbo, I think is what they call it. Yeah. So he teleports to limbo and starts having this conversation with Madeline Pryor, and they realize that they kind of have something in common, and they end up sort of bonding and making a little pact. Madeline and Pryor invites Janine and Ben Riley Chasm over for dinner. They're kind of hanging out for dinner and explaining their lives and everything. And at one point, Janine's kind of sensing that uh, maybe Madeline Pryor has the hots for her man, right? So she's a little upset, and she walks off to stand on the balcony by herself. And Madeline Pryor comes out. She says, "You're upset. If you think I have designs on your beloved, you needn't worry. I've played that game before and lost badly. Once bitten, twice shy." Janine replies, "It'd take more than a fancy castle to come between me and Ben. We've been through things you couldn't imagine." Madeline Pryor says, "I truly doubt that. But if envy doesn't redden your face, what does?" As Janine replies, "Helplessness. Ben's talking about going to war, and I'll be damned if I don't go with him. But I feel so naked in this place, no weapons, no powers. When the time comes, how will I be anything but a liability?" As Madeline Pryor replies, "Oh, Janine, I knew I liked you. Like me, you despise it, being at the mercy of forces beyond your control. You'd rather shape your own destiny than play the perpetual victim." She says, What's that?" As she shows her, she says, "A tribute I collected from its owner, the bastard demon Sim." He used it to set me free once. I can do the same for you. But you must ask me to. She says, I don't know. And Madeline Pryor says, don't you want to be all of you? What you were, what you are, what you dream of becoming? All of it together, like a dream, terrible in its power. But you must ask for it. Janine replies, I'm done sitting on the sidelines. Do it. As Madeline Pryor sticks the finger inside her and says, I see you, Elizabeth Tyne. I see you, Janine Godby. I see you, Sarah Porter. I see you, Mary Bailey. They made you wear many masks, and you chose none of them. Enough of that. For now you choose. A mask to curse them, a mask to bleed them, a mask to splinter bone. They will insist on seeing you as a monster. You will become a monster, but the choice will be yours and endless. This is your gift. Hallows Eve. As Janine's transformed, we'll show you the whole transformation here. Like I said, heavy spoilers, guys. So on this side, you see we start and she's Janine, and then she's kind of putting the different masks on her as we start to get over here. And then we have the full reveal that it is Janine, Chasm's girlfriend. That is the new character Hallows Eve with the mask powers. So that's actually like her power additionally, is to kind of change masks, and you don't know, who she is, or she puts on the masks and they give her different powers. We'll see. We'll see. Looks cool. Looks cool. And then it goes to winter, where we see um, again Ben here, and he's kind of thinking it's really coming down now, but that's okay. You think you like the snow, maybe. You can't remember, to be honest. But you wanted to see how your life was being spent by the one who took it one last time before you take it back. As those guys come up again and try to demand money from him. And he's kind of not having it. The guy actually says something that sets him off. He says, how does it feel to be a fake Peter Parker? And Ben says, did you just call me a fake Peter Parker? And so that kind of sets him off, and he actually mercilessly beats this man. He takes him to limbo, whereupon they use, Madeline Pryor uses some sort of fruit that you eat to make the guy expunge his soul. Just bear with me here. And Madeline Pryor's like, your soul is free. And Ben says, that's him then. And she says, yes, to inhale this would be to know all of him. Perhaps I'll allow myself just a taste. And she sniffs a little bit and says, oh, this was an evil, evil man. As Chasm says, this is how I become whole. You figured it out. Thank you, Madeline. Madeline says, that isn't necessary. I now have the opportunity to bite into the fruit that was handed to me, to test if I was given limbo to rule or to simply hide away and not bother the ones who mattered. You will have your army, Ben. By decree of the Queen of Limbo, those who question my authority may take it up with me. And Ben says, accepted. As tribute, Hallows Eve will ensure that you receive your treasure from above. And I won't rest until my prey has tasted Limbo's fruit. I will take all of him, because Peter Parker's soul belongs to me. And there we have Madeline Pryor and Chasm spinning the dark web. Yeah, man, wow. Okay. Where do I even start? Definitely the best issue of the entire run so far. Um, Tons of revelations, right, guys? Like, Chasm showed back up. we're kind of getting the picture of what his master plan is, right? He wants to kill Peter Parker. He is out for blood. He is definitely twisted and lost his mind, right, guys? And I don't know, I'm loving it. I'm having fun with it. Um, and this, I was kind of wondering too. I'm like, where's Hollow's Eve? How does this new character fit into all this? It felt like maybe it was jammed in for Halloween, but it was too late or something. No, totally get it now. Um, Janine's been around for a while, so it's actually the first appearance of Janine as Hollow's Eve. And yeah, super awesome character model. If you saw yesterday's show, there's I got to have the other variant too with her on the front cover. And so yeah, I guess now that I know what's going on, it's kind of the pair. You know what I mean? Chasm and Hollow's Eve are our boyfriend and girlfriend, and yeah, that's actually a super awesome twist too to it. Is like, oh, Hollow's Eve isn't just this one-off character. She's probably going to be sticking around as Chasm's main henchman and battle partner, if you will. And that could also be very interesting to see kind of this this couple that's both twisted. Different versions of them have been good at times. However, yeah, it's kind of an interesting take here. But they've been twisted and but they do still love each other, and it's what would you guys call it? Romeo and Juliet, or um, what the two that went around stealing stuff? I can't remember the names right now off the top of my head, but yeah, the bad guys. Or here's a closer one. You got Joker and Harley Quinn, right? So yeah, man, I'm having a lot. Yeah, as you can see, I'm going on and on. I had a lot of fun with this. I was, you know, if you think about it too, guys, Peter Parker does not even show up in this issue. Yet, I guess, like, at least for me, they answered so many questions that I've been asking, and brought back Chasm in a way that I found just super entertaining, and was very kind of impressed by, honestly. Like, uh this storyline is looking like, at least at the start here, this looking like this dark web could be a really strong, amazing story. So I definitely got to give Amazing Spider-Man 14 a thumbs up. I'm having a bunch of fun with this series. Um, it was super interesting too, how they had the four different art teams that kind of did spring, summer, fall, and winter, to kind of differentiate that this had actually taken place over a year's span of time, and that, what I'm saying, Ben's been lost for a year, to kind of get you to feel that. Um, so I thought it worked actually, and yeah, it was kind of interesting too when you changed from art. There wasn't any of the art teams I didn't like, and it was fun, really fun to see Stegman doing some Spider-Man, even though he was drawing Chasm and a bunch of crazy stuff in Limbo. I bet he had a bunch of fun with it, and it was awesome to read. All right, guys, that's what I have today. Yep, recap. Amazing Spider-Man 14 gets a thumbs up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember, like I said, happy Thanksgiving. If you're here, if you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a great day.